Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to share with my colleagues this morning some of the Texans who would benefit directly from approval of the Family Act. When John and Lenny Scott from Cibolo came by my Washington office last October with their newborn, John summed up what is at stake here today, I think, very perfectly in saying, "My work is my work, but my child is my heart." Without federal action to establish a comprehensive paid family and medical leave act policy, Americans will face the impossible choice between choosing between their health or the health and well-being of a loved one, someone that they care about, and just being able to pay their bills. In Texas, even unpaid leave under the existing Family Medical Leave Act is inaccessible for 62% of working Texans. We just restate the significance of that. A majority of people who work in Texas today cannot even access unpaid leave under the Family Medical Leave Act that we have. A group that called themselves the Texas Dadvocates and their families came by to visit about this issue and share their stories about the need for Congress to act on paid leave.
Going to D.C. to talk about paternity leave and the importance of that for the nation.
Kevin Denny has a 23-month-old and is expecting a baby girl due on November 6th, but his current employer offers no paid paternity or maternity leave.
I started a petition to say, hey, we probably should have this here. We're big enough to at least afford it. Why don't we have this? Why don't we offer that?
And he went a step further.
I connected with paidleave.us and I said, hey, I just need some information to gather about how can I discuss this with my HR department.
Then came a pretty sweet offer.
Next thing you know, they're like, oh yeah, this Dubman Care thing. Hey, we're going to send you to DC. And I'm like, whoa, hey, what?
For Dad's Day of Action, where Dadvocates will ask Congress to take action on paid family leave. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, in March of 2018, only 17% of all civilian workers had access to paid family leave, but 89% had access to unpaid family leave.
The first, 6 months is so important. For one, for the mother and child relationship. So if we're going to focus on the mother and child relationship, somebody has to focus also more on the mother. And who better to do that than the partner, the husband, the father?
Denny says the most important part is starting the discussion and putting family first so moms and dads can be there together for those first few months of their child's life.
My son's going to be like, mama, for 6 months. And then soon he'll be like, da for the rest of his life or something like that. I don't know.
Well, you don't have to wear Texas boots like Kevin to be in his shoes and to know that time away from work because of a serious personal or family illness or a newborn is really important. A national paid leave policy is not just healthy for the soul. I think it keeps Americans healthier and decreases health care costs, as we've heard from testimony this morning. No patient should face a diagnosis of bankruptcy of the type Ms. London just referred to when they get a health diagnosis. But if the doctor's instruction is to take time off and take care of yourself, and there's no paid family medical leave, working families have a false choice. The Family Act that Representative DeLauro has worked on for so many years, I'm pleased to be an original co-sponsor of it. I believe it will provide the compensation we need. The new Parents Act, the Republican alternative from Ms. Wagner and Mr. Rubio, may be well-intentioned, but I have to say, I think it could really be called punished leave because it does punish working Americans for using paid leave by cutting Social Security and forcing parents to make an unfair choice between what they need right now and something they will very much need as they grow older. Under this plan, a middle-income parent making $55,000 taking leave for 2 children will cost them about almost $30,000 in Social Security cuts in exchange for a little more than $10,000 in wage replacement, a big net loss. Ms. Rollet, you described the disparities and that we already have with reference to race and gender. How would this Republican approach perpetuate these inequities?
Thank you so much for that question. Too much of the conversation about worker benefits like paid leave is about all the choices that workers supposedly have. involving everything from taking paid leave to the kinds of job they hold, and we have to step back and recognize that we have been systemically limiting workers' choices. If we ask workers today to raid the Social Security funds in order to care for present family and medical needs, we are asking them to essentially risk their economic security during their golden years to make rent this month. We are forcing people into taking a loan. And so this is not really a choice for too many people when presented with immediate medical or caregiving needs. And if workers dip into their social security and cannot retire at 65, that's a source of caregiving loss to the current working generation. Again, to complicate this even more, we have to remember that Social Security also provides a disability benefit. So what happens to workers who are providing caregiving? They see their Social Security benefits cut and then become too disabled to work. Now their families suffer income loss twice. And so we have to be careful that immediate income loss is compounded in the future Social Security benefits, because now, instead of having no income quarters, there will be negative income quarters. So to the issue of poverty in old age, we must address the wealth gap in all benefits, but increasing Social Security, as many members of this committee have been fighting to do, is of paramount importance.
Thank you all.